Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 886, we're going to talk about the Ghost Shintai of the Boundless Vigor. This is the green Ghost Shintai that was not made to be a commander, but it falls in the... It's a legendary creature, so you know I'm building it. Anyway, 2 mana, 1/1 trample. At the beginning of your end step, you can pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target shrine for each shrine you control. Now, we all know that in this particular deck, there's only one shrine that is a creature. That's this one. So, I went a little crazy trying to figure out what theme to build, the other 99 cards around. So, what I did was enchantments, mainly enchantment creatures. I have, my categories are of course, ramp, card draw, enchantment creatures, enchantments, and auras. Of course, then removal. But I have 4 cards here that just don't fit. I'll throw them in whenever we get to them. So, we have got ramp. Let's get that out of the way first. Of course, we have our Nature's Lore, Rampant Growth, and Cultivate. 3 visits. Okay. Then we move to 1 artifact, green creature spells costing 1 less. Hey, we got a lot of them, so, and that second ability is amazing. A few enchantments with the Wild Growth, Overgrowth, and I love some Gaze Touch. I love this card. It ain't Fast Bond. Of course, we can't use Fast Bond, so, in mono green, this is a perfect card. I've seen Sheldon use it. I think this is my last copy, so all other copies I have are indexed, so y'all have seen this before. Now, trying this new Celebrate the Harvest. X basic lands, X number of different power creatures. Okay. We got a bunch of creatures, so how many lands do we need to get to make this worthwhile? At 2, it becomes an explosive vegetation. Anything over 2, I feel like 3+, I feel like that's a really good deal. So, and then we have Karametra's Acolyte, because with all those enchantments on the board, our devotion is going to be pretty big. Throw the Yavimaya Enchantress out there. She's just going to get +1 for each enchantment play. This Druid's just going to be big. That's all there is to it. That's one of my 4. Now, card draw. Rites of Flourishing's in there. But then we have the Setessan Champion. That's card draw and pomp itself. The Eidolon of Blossoms. I would love to have some of the other Enchantresses or Enchantress present, stuff like that. But instead, I'm running Elemental Bond. We're going to have a lot of creatures. That's power 3 or greater drawing a card. And then Garruk's Uprising is power 4 or greater drawing a card. And then I have Rowan. Just a card nobody plays with. I love I love to play a card and then somebody goes, what does that do? Or can I read that? And it helps that it's, from 96. During your draw phase, you reveal the first card to all players. If it's a basic land draw card, that's a pretty strong chance there. Let's see, what is that? There's a 34% chance. So 1 out of 3 times, I realize we don't, most of the time, 33% isn't enough for us to even consider a card. But anyway, let's get to our enchantment creature, shall we? Here again, no particular order here. Skull of Grove Dancer, Bearer of Memory. I like this. You can put a counter on an enchantment creature against trample. Arasta. Instant or sorceries get played, so we'll have some token blockers. Just the big, beefy Nyxborn Colossus, Leaf Crown Dryad. There are a couple of enchantment creatures that I kind of wish I had at the big mana guys. You know what I'm talking about. I like that Weaver of Harmony, though. It's an anthem, and you get to copy something. So, Humbler of Mortals. Constellation puts in some work in this deck. Noble Quarry, Spire Spine, Renata. I mean, getting the extra +1 counters is never a bad thing, right? And her power's gonna be pretty big. The Nyxborn Wolf, Nylea's Emissary, Bamboo Grove Archer. That's one of the new ones with Channel. The Fang of Shigeki. 1/1 Death Touch. It's pretty good. Especially when we get to our auras. You know, the Jukai Preserver. Oakheart Dries. Destiny Spinner. Now our enchantments can't be countered. I don't know that happens a lot, but, you know, that second ability to make your lands big enough to go slap is pretty big. Yeah, hexproof. All of your... Boone Satyr. Nylea's Forerunner, passing out that trample. Nyx Herald. Enchantment creature gets +1/+1 trample. Loving that trample. I mean, we are in mono green. And then lastly, the Golden Hide Ox. Must be blocked. Now for regular enchantments, here let's get these three out of the way first. So, the three that don't really have a category, you know, Fog. There are times when it's just needed. Overrun, a lot of creatures. And then the Curse of Predation. It's not really pump. It's not really removal. It's not, you know, but I do like it. Oh, the +1 action, I probably should have put in a, Fertilid. Yeah, maybe. Anyway. Of course, you know, I'm running the, one of the other sanctums here, the Shrines, and then the Honden, so that makes all three of the green ones. So, the Sylvan Anthem, I like that Scry 1. Green creatures you control get +1/+1, and then green creature ETBs Scry 1, which is way better than Gaia's Anthem. Playing them both anyway, but Side of the Scale Lords, creatures you control with power or with toughness 4, 2/2 vigilance. Wow. To retreat to Kazandu. Here again with the counters. Man, I really need that for good. Roots of Life, another card that doesn't seem to get played, but with the popularity of blue and black, you know, Herbor, whatnot, just gain a life. I know cards that just gain 1 life at a shot are not very desirable, but Call the Wild. It's not bad, especially if you've got that Anthem out that lets you scry every time, you know. And then the Elephant Grass. Love me some Elephant Grass. It is Green's version of the Propaganda Ghostly Prison, but the black creatures just, it don't matter what they pay. Does have a cumulative upkeep. You're not going to keep it around forever, but... And there may be games when you don't want to keep it around. You know, there's not a lot of black creatures, whatever. But, hey. It dissuades that token rush. Now let's look at our auras, shall we? Blanchwood Armor, you saw this one coming. Mono green. The Snake Umbra. Love that totem armor. Hydra's Growth. Upkeep, double your counters. Okay. And then the Ancestral Mask. This thing, I've loved Ancestral Mask since Mercadian Mask, I believe, when it came out. Oh, man, it's beautiful. Great card. Now let's look at some removal. Naturalize is the only non-enchantment removal. So, I mean, we have the Vow of Wildness, Seal of Primordium, and Utopia Vow. Doesn't really remove the creature, but if it's a combat-oriented creature that doesn't have, like, you know, other abilities on it, I'll give him a rock. I will turn that thing into a bird of paradise bigger than anything. And then lastly, the Life Force, because we can. Why not? I mean, it's a good card. Non-basic lands, or in Reef the Vastwood. cycle lands, you know, the Desert of the Indomitable and the Tranquil Thicket. Got our Rogue's Passage in there because there's a possibility with all the auras and the +1 counters that our commander just gets there. I mean, it's going to get at least one +1 counter a turn. So we might luck into a commander damage win. And then the Blighted Woodland, you know, just to wrap it, one land get you two. And that is the green go Shintai. Now, I think the green one is probably lends itself better to being a commander than the others. Still unsure why they made them creatures. I don't know. Anyway, that is 886. We will go ahead and put it on the wall. That's right, I'm still in my jammies. But I do appreciate it. Y'all let me know what you think. And right now, we're going to go ahead and shuffle and cut.